I think the biggest problem here is that the city people, both husband and wife, both work now, and there's no one to look after the elderly. So they have to have staff to look after them. We're the sandwich generation. We have children to look after and our parents to look after.
The aged care sector, as you're aware, is growing alarmingly, and I think it's important for some standards to be put into place with training so that there is a recognised level of skill and it will benefit all of Malaysia. And with the burgeoning aged care population that you have now, there really is no care that is delivered, and it is at this stage very ad hoc, and that is for across the board except for professional registered nurse training. There really isn't anything else here in Malaysia. We also felt that the community care, which is the way that the Australian market is now going, rather than looking at residential aged care, there is a push to allow people to remain in their own homes for as long as they can. So by the time that they are going into residential care, it is for end of life. So in order that people remain in their own home, there needs to be a confidence and a competence of staff.
We've had numerous calls from people now wanting to know exactly how it works, because they're using maids to look after their families at home, because maids are not trained. They do domestic. They're not trained to a standard to look after people. They don't know how to lift, feed, or change incontinent pads. So they do need trained staff to look after the elderly. And also, that also gives the people paying for it peace of mind. Our business model is to help look after their families at home and to maintain them in their own homes as long as practicable. And quite often, 8 out of 10 people will stay in their own home till the end of time. And it's more cost effective to keep them in their home than have healthcare facilities looking after them. I think it's important that they liberalise the private sector to work in this area, and user pays is here, and it's not going to change. And in most Western countries now, it's becoming user pays. The governments are trying to stop supplying money to those areas. But what we've got to look at now are the banks are going to have to change their mindset and to do reverse mortgages so that people can fund what they need to do in their life, which also means the children's inheritance is not going to be as great as it was.
I think a lot of businesses should look at Malaysia as a very good business opportunity for the future. I think once you start to turn things around and we start looking at the preventative matters rather than the cure, that is going to be a great turnaround. And I think certainly creates more employment, certainly is more sustainable, and is obviously going to be better for the nation.